I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on.
What did you think of Jake's power, man, when you were in there?
I don't remember it. But my body was really sore. Yeah, my body, my chest, my stomach and stuff was really sore.
Coasting once again, I turn jobs.
Probably going to be
every time.
This guy is a real boxer. So it'll be another opportunity to show that Jake Paul is a real boxer.
Mike Tyson is taken aback by Jake Paul's rigorous preparation for his bout with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Tyson remembers their formal altercation as well. He's claiming that Jake's blows left his entire body, particularly his stomach, painful the following day. He continues by saying that Jake's family loves him and is rooting for him as he gets ready to face the most formidable opponent of his career.
Jake Paul is obviously, he's
big. Beautiful. My family loves Jake Paul. Oh, he's
cool. Could you fuck him? Could you fuck him up?
Huh?
Could you fuck him up?
Oh, I'm so fucking easy.
You think?
Yeah, but I would love him. I would never. I mean, it's my own fucking family. Everybody loves this little white motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Oh shit. Yo, wait.
Balls. He got the fucking balls. When you see a white boy with balls, fuck. I'm talking about from real, but like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah, but time out. Would you would you pop?
Oh no, I don't remember the fight that much. I kind of blanked out a little. Listen, know what I remember? I'm coming back from the first round. And then the next day, I remember Jake is doing some kind of, I don't know, what was he doing at the ring?
Oh, yeah, a little bow at the end. He bowed.
And that's the last thing I remember. But the day after the fight, the day after, I woke up and told my wife, why did I do that? I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on.
What did you think of Jake's power, man, when you were in there?
I don't remember it. But my body was really sore. Yeah, my body, my chest, my stomach and stuff was really sore.
Battle has taken on a personal dimension as Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. enters the arena not just to demonstrate his value, but also to get revenge on Mike Tyson's behalf. Julio plans to correct the record inside the ropes after claiming that Jake Paul insulted a living great.
We talked to Chavez previously, and he says this fight, he looks forward to getting revenge for Mike Tyson for what you did to him. I know you and Tyson actually go way back. What's your thoughts on that, him saying he'd get revenge for Tyson?
Yeah, whatever he needs to motivate himself and whatever dreams he has in his head, but he's not going to beat me, so he's just going to be another legend that I'm going to beat and embarrass.
Well, you always have big people at your fights. Have you sent any invites to the president?
Oh, not currently.
Who do you want? Who do you want to see there?
Man, we'll see. It's LA, so I think a lot of people will show up.
Listen, Badu Jack basically said he'll offer you a title shot. That's fast. I know you said. I heard you say earlier. You can see it happening in a couple years. What do you really think about that? When I know you're looking forward to this fight, but like when you hear something like that, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm super interested. I had Nikisa contact his team behind the scenes, so those discussions are happening.
And you look at him and you think you could take him? For sure.
Paul's recent training reflects a sharper focus, quicker punches, improved footwork, and more powerful combinations. This time, he's preparing for a real threat in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a younger, active fighter with serious boxing experience. It marks a turning point in Jake's career, moving away from older, retired opponents towards someone truly competitive. His team is pushing him hard, both mentally and physically, recognizing the elevated risk. Julio, still in his 30s and connected to the modern boxing scene, presents a far greater challenge than Jake's past matchups. Jake admits the stakes are higher and respects the danger Chavez brings. UFC fighter Mike Perry adds perspective, calling Julio a seasoned, technically sound opponent, a legitimate test. For Jake, this fight isn't about hype anymore. It's about earning real respect.
Wash it down with process, it ain't up here to pink, like I guess it's only line, don't trust no hope.
Are beginning to believe that Jake Paul may truly pull this off. If he wins against Julio, it would be a huge upset that would have an impact on boxing communities. This is about beating someone who was raised wearing gloves and has championship blood in his veins. Not about competing against influences or athletes from other sports.
Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Who you got?
That'd be interesting if Jake can beat a guy with such experience, and he's very confident, and I think he might do it. So,
Yeah, cool.
Logan, Jake's brother, is also aware of how serious this match is. He has made it clear that this battle is different from any Jake has ever engaged in, and that it isn't about showy moments or drama on pay-per-view. In the ring, it's about perseverance and survival. Jake has never had to deal with the amount of threat Julio's expertise and boxing history provide.
Can Chavez do this? Here we go. Get W at Walmart. Let's go. Okay, let's see.
Disparity between Mike Tyson and Julio is one of the main topics of discussion surrounding this fight. Despite the legend's aura, Julio is much younger and still has the skills necessary to fight well. The age difference counts, especially in a sport where speed, endurance, and reflexes determine results. Jake was 58 years old and obviously out of his peak when he faced Tyson.
Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
I think it's one of his toughest fights.
It's definitely his toughest fight. Jake, I feel like, has gotten stiffed a few times this year with who his opponents were gonna be. This is what I don't understand about people hating on him. He's not fighting tomato cans. Every single person that he fought had a chance to beat him, and by the way, people believed that they were probably going to beat
every
him.
time.
This guy is a real boxer, so it'll be another opportunity to show that Jake Paul is a real boxer.
The press conference that preceded it became heated. Julio publicly questioned Jake Paul's legitimacy by posing the question of who he has actually defeated, casting doubt on his opponent list. He even mentioned the generational divide. The tension wasn't contrived, it was genuine, and reminding Jake that he had already won a championship when Jake was a little child has just raised the stakes for what will happen when these two ultimately square off in the ring.
What do you think about when you see some of these matches? Like, didn't they just have Jake Paul was gonna fight
Tyson?
What do you think about that shit, man?
It's fucking crazy, isn't it?
It's fucking dumb, I think.
Like, well, what are you expecting? What do you think the outcome's going to be?
Well, I think...
Because I thought that Jake Paul would have lost by now, even fighting these guys at some stage, but he keeps winning. Like, I know that they're not, like, in their prime or whatever, but the whole background was fighting.
That's a good point.
And he keeps, like, somehow pulling it out. Like, if he pulls this one out, I don't care how old Mike Tyson gets. I'm not even fighting that guy he actually sat down on my show. He's fucking crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I felt I'm not fighting. Even if he's 70 years old, I'm not fighting him.
What, he just felt like he had that danger in him?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
well,
my
I
God.
asked him, what would you be if you weren't a boxer? He said, a fucking criminal. Like, stone cold in my eyes.
Damn,
and I'm like, okay, nice.
Both casual viewers and boxing aficionados are becoming weary with the sport. Many people are fed up with Jake Paul, making headlines by criticizing legends and retiring champions who are well past their prime. They think it undercuts genuine competitiveness and is demeaning to the sport's heritage. Even though Julio is older and not as skilled as he once was, he still has more credibility than some of Jake's previous rivals. This match has the potential to either validate or undermine that notion.
Mira, para empezar,
To start off,
nunca noqueado a nadie.
he's never knocked anybody out.
Dime a uno que haya noqueado.
Give me one name he's knocked out.
Uno.
Just one.
Knockout.
Es como si yo peleara con mi papá. Aunque él es mejor que yo, lo puedo
It's
noquear.
like if I fought with my dad, he's better than me, but he's just old.
So,
He's talking about Mike Tyson.
va a ser una buena pelea.
I'll whoop both your asses on the same night.
It's gonna be a good fight.
Put both the Chavezes in there. I'll whoop senior and junior. Hey, Julio.
Cuando él nació, yo ya era campeón, dile.
When you were born, I was already a champ.
There's two things you can't beat. There's two things you can't beat. Me and your drug addiction.
In spite of his background, Julio's latest performance against Canelo Alvarez left a lot to be desired, so he isn't coming into the ring on a hot run. He was lethargic. His pace was obviously reduced, and he appeared to be fighting only to stay alive for the entire 12 rounds. His legacy is not diminished by these signs of aging. They raise questions about his ability to compete with a younger, more competitive competitor like Jake Paul. It makes the result of the fight even more unpredictable.
Bro, it's actually getting annoying. Jake Paul, you aren't slick. What is this fight? It was just announced that Jake Paul's next fight will be against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Are we serious? He's 39. I get he was a WBC champion, but that was 13 and 14 years ago. This dude is 39. How do you go from wanting to fight Canelo to fighting somebody Canelo smoked every single round? When Canelo fought him, it wasn't even close. It actually makes me mad because I want to see Jake Paul fight somebody, an actual boxer, somebody good, because I really want to see if he's really about it. But he picks the worst fights. And I get it. He's making a ton of money. So we can't even hate. We can't hate. But I just want to see if he's really about being a WBC champion, really getting up in the ranks in the boxing. Bro, if he was really about it, he would have fought Tommy Fury again. But he doesn't want to do that. When he fought a real boxer, we saw what happened. And now we're fighting another washed 39-year-old. We already know how this fight is going to go. We already know Jake Paul is going to make a ton of money. At the end of the day, we can't hate, but this is getting annoying. Can we just fight somebody good? Somebody that's actually fighting right now? Bro, what are we doing?
Jake, Paul's choice to fight Julio is calculated rather than rash. Although Julio has a solid enough background to support the fight, Jake can take advantage of his recent performance. The balance is ideal. People will say that Jake defeated a legend if he prevails. If he fails, he will at least receive recognition. For his leadership, although Julio's name is valuable, his current performance is questionable. Jake appears to be going for this precise combination of opportunity and risk.
How good is Jake Paul's next opponent, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? Can he pull off the upset and beat Jake? Now, Chavez Jr. in his prime was a really solid fighter. 46-0, four-time WBC middleweight champion. This is him against Sergio Martinez, a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter. Hurt him bad with the left hook, dropped him in the 12th round, nearly got the finish, but Martinez did end up winning this fight. And then after losing the title in 2017, this is him versus Canelo in 2017. Solid pressure fighter, good body shots, decent hand speed, but these are pretty much his only highlights in the fight, because he pretty much lost every round 12-0. But still, he did go the distance with Canelo. But then you get to his most recent fight versus Uriah Hall at cruiserweight. He still got some decent body shots, but he looks considerably slower fighting at a heavier weight class. His footwork is a bit plotty, and he's not as fast. Look, Chavez Jr., he's not a bad fighter. He's never been a bad fighter. But what he is very undisciplined and considerably slower and more flat-footed at 39 years old fighting at cruiserweight. The technicality, the experience, it will give him a 25 to 30% chance. But the youth, the size, the speed of Jake, that'll give him more of the edge.
With addiction issues like he has for so long in his pro career, this fight does become a little bit of a dangerous one for Jake. Not because Chavez Jr. is in his prime anymore. He's still going to be a shell of that early 20s Julio Cesar Chavez. But with 60 wins under his belt, if there is still any of that muscle memory left, there's still any go left in his body, because again, I hate to keep referring to it, doing drugs or having addiction issues does take its toll on your body, and sometimes it isn't recoverable, especially as you're going up in weight. Julio Cesar Chavez is not a normal cruiserweight, so he's going to be moving up as he gets older. How does that entail what he's going to do in this fight? I don't know, but I'll tell you, I watched him ringside against Uriah Hall, and it wasn't an impressive performance when he beat Uriah Hall in a 6-round fight. Honestly, when I watched the fight back, it looked like the only reason he beat Uriah Hall in that fight was because Uriah, like most MMA fighters, when they come to boxing, don't take credence of the rule set, right? They get hit with a ton of shots that don't hurt them, but also they're getting hit with shots that are scoring against them. Uriah Hall didn't look overwhelmed in that fight at all.